All right, everyone get ready to suffer. We have 1 hour and 30 minutes to watch TikTok Zoomer conservatives argue with boomer lib parents. Let's go. Let's go. Conservative teens versus liberal parents. Middle ground. Yeehaw.
Middle ground is a social experiment that brings...
Okay. Were they getting so much flack they felt the need to throw this in here? All right.
You're equating some minor inconveniences in your privileged life to
why would you see my life as privileged?
Unsupported...
But why would you see my life as privileged, though? I mean, I don't say that about you. Why would you see my life as privileged?
I'm privileged.
Okay, that's fine, but why would you see my life as privileged?
For one, you're a man.
Cons get so triggered when you say that to them. They get so... It's the just world fallacy, you know? They hate the idea of any of their achievements being attributable to any, like, unfair advantages they have, because it cheapens the legitimacy of what they've accomplished. They hate that shit. They hate it. They hate it so much.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. The government has no right to tell people what to do with their body.
Vaccines.
That's...
Wait, what? Were these kids just standing over there because they only thought abortion, and one of the adults was like, hey, vaccines. They're like, oh, fuck, yeah. Wait, is this a joke?
Vaccines.
That's...
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I don't think the government has the right to tell you.
I guess they're kids. I shouldn't make fun of them too much because they're like kids or whatever, but they're also conservatives, so I don't know. Fucking... God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're literally like, oh shit, I forgot that we disingenuously weaponized that pro-choice talking point in favor of anti-vax language. Yeah, oops. Gotta run on over there. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I stood here because of vaccines, but
Oh,
I know a lot of you guys probably looked at me like, oh, what about abortion? Now, the thing is, when it comes to abortion, two bodies are involved. It's the woman and it's the fetus. The fetus, you know, has a heartbeat, it has DNA.
And isn't a legal person. Oops.
It should have rights.
When?
Life begins at conception.
That's not when the heart's there.
Heartbeat starts at 4 weeks. It's not just a clump of cells, it is life. At 21 weeks, it can live outside of the womb. Abortion ends with murder and...
Good, then take it outside the womb. Okay, it can? Okay, good, take it out. Good. All right, goodbye. I feel like more and more the abortion conversation, I just feel like the only right answer is to be like holding a rock at all times to deploy tactically when you have disagreements with people on this subject. It's so fucking boring. I fucking hate the abortion shit.
and death.
Over 90% of abortions happen within the first 10 weeks.
That's still, I think that's not acceptable.
But they still have the potential of having life, though. The mortality rate of a fetus getting aborted is 100%. It's going to die when it's aborted.
And you're very lucky you'll never have to experience what it's like to have to make that choice.
But what if I become a father and, you know, the woman who I got pregnant wants to have an abortion? It's going to affect me.
You would have a discussion with your partner then and decide what you're going to do and be glad that you have a choice to even discuss with that partner.
Unfortunately, human nature, if you take away the option or the right to do that, then they'll find it another way.
And it will be unsafe.
And would you support the mom? Would you support the mom in that scenario?
If the mom had an abortion or the mom...
No, if she gave birth.
Oh, of course. I would support her. I'd say what you do is a good thing. And
No, support her financially for the rest of her life or for the rest of the baby's life.
Are you talking about, like, what do you mean me support her? Like, as a citizen or...
If somebody has a baby...
We do have child support and it comes from taxpayer money.
There's foster care, there's
I'll see if he follows that up or if that's the...
adoption, there's mothers waiting.
No.
Those systems are very broken and people all the
No, we're
time
just gonna
are
leave
trying
that.
to stop funding for programs like that.
Now, I want to ask you guys, do you support vaccine mandates?
Yes.
So I mean, you stepped forward and said the government shouldn't tell you what to do with your body, though.
We're just leaving that. We're just leaving that one there. Okay. All right. Okay.
Why would you support?
My issue is that I believe that the government should not be able to tell me what to do with my body, but I have to accept the consequences for the choices that I make with my body. The vaccines, for instance, I absolutely felt that everyone should get vaccinated. Why? Because this was a pandemic. But if you don't want to, I don't think the government should have to tell you that you have to. But you then have to suffer the consequences of your choices, which means you cannot patronize certain places. You can't put other people at risk.
I know.
This is true. We never had a vaccine mandate in the United States. It was just like, yeah, if your sickly disease plague child wants to go to school, they're going to need to get vaccinated, which I think is pretty fair to, like, not kill the kids who are immunodeficient. That seems reasonable. But yeah, we haven't had a vaccine mandate for essentially the reason that she just listed, which is, you know,
No, you're saying they're doing it to protect us. But the coronavirus has, I think, a survival rate almost 98%, 99%, and we're mandating these vaccines. Why are we not mandating the flu?
What's frightening to me is that you're equating some minor inconveniences in your privileged life to
Why would you assume my life is
an
privileged?
unsupported.
Why would you assume my life is privileged, though? You don't know my life. I mean, I don't say that about you. Why would you assume my life is privileged?
I'm privileged.
Okay, that's fine, but why would you assume my life is privileged?
For one, you're a man.
You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people.
Oh my god, instantly they have all the talking points ready. That they, by the way, and they never care about them either. Because, like, a conservative will never go like, because I believe men commit suicide more often on average, I'm in favor of changing the social standards that lead to that, such as toxic masculinity. They never do that. So it's just like something to disingenuously throw out as in like the I'm hurt too, you know, like
People who work in dangerous workplaces are men. Most people who fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
Yeah.
I'm going to
damn. Sorry, wait.
Man.
You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people who work in dangerous workplaces are men. Most people who fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the disagreeers to step forward.
Well,
That cut, I wonder if he said anything. Like, I wonder if he meaningfully responded to that. If that cut was just like an artificial mic drop moment, or if that was basically how it was in the studio as well.
I think I give a unique perspective on this because I actually do agree with the vaccine mandate. I think COVID was just a huge disaster, and I think it could have ended a lot sooner if things were more organized.
Definitely. As far as whether the government should intervene on people's bodies, I think there are a lot of instances where the government should. One, to protect the society in general, especially in cases such as a pandemic where the disease could literally wipe out cities. In other instances as well, such as drug use, I think the government should intervene because when you have a society that's addicted to opioids or crack, it spreads like wildfire. And I've seen it firsthand. It's very difficult to control without the help of government. Now, on the topic of abortion, that one's very complex. And in general, I always want to favor a woman's right to choose. But I think there's also a very fundamental question that both of you brought up is at what point is a fetus a human or a person?
Oh, why would you bring it back to the abortion? I don't, why? Every second wasted on this. Dude, nobody believes that life begins at conception. Anyone who actually says they believe that is lying to you. If they had a burning building they could save one from, a living human baby who's screaming and crying, and like a petri dish with like 18 viable, conceived eggs waiting for implantation, they would take the baby, and anyone who says otherwise is lying to you. They're directly lying. They're lying to your face. They don't actually believe that. It's not true. I don't believe that they believe that. It's dumb.
Let's say a child is 8 months in the womb, and at that point, the baby has a heart, the baby has a brain, has legs.
And why do they care? It's about controlling women. The conservative prescriptions when it comes to childbirth don't make sense if it's about protecting the life of the fetus, because they're against better healthcare, which leads to better like infant mortality rates, or like subsidized pre-K or natal care, anything like all of their positions indicate total disregard for the well-being of fetuses, except for the abortion thing. The only reason the abortion thing is special is because it allows them to punish women for having sex. It allows them to artificially enforce a conservative standard of familial relations by making it so that if you have sex, there's a risk they get pregnant. And if they get pregnant, they have to have the kid. And the only way to support that kid is to be in like a nuclear family, you know? They are absolutely seething over the second wave feminist revolution and the idea of women having like separate lives. And that's not new, by the way. I mean, the Bible contains instructions for having an abortion. The Bible does not define life at conception at all. It defines life at first breath, outside of the womb. It's just there's just no reason.
Has arms. Do you think it's okay for that to be terminated?
Nobody is doing that. And nobody is having abortions with viable fetuses unless it is a medical emergency that will kill the baby and the mother.
That's also generally true.
My name is Ben. I'm a business consultant for a telecom company, and I'm a liberal dad. When it comes to the abortion issue, I am not exactly sure where I stand. I am not pro-choice or pro-life.
My name is Dawn. I'm a regional sales manager.
What? Dude, listening to normies talk about politics is fucking wild. They'll say some crazy shit. You talking to a random American about politics is like you'll like learn entire new political philosophies, you know? Like, just shit you never would have thought of. It's incredible.
Manager for a dialysis company as well as a therapist, and I'm a liberal parent. As far as my views on abortion, to be honest, it just makes me very sad. I can't believe that we are moving backwards by taking people's rights away to choose what's happening to their body.
Not being an LGBTQ plus ally makes someone a bad person.
It's strong, isn't it? It's a little
it's a
strong.
general way to put it. I would question someone's empathy.
This is like a very deliberately aggressive bit of wording right here. Like, it could have been, you should be an ally to LGBTQ people or whatever. This is like very heavily loaded, which probably to maximize discourse, you know.
Empathy.
That's it.
And their awareness of the other people around them, because I guarantee you know someone that's
Absolutely,
LGBTQ.
and their environment.
Right. Discussing the validity of the existence of other human beings isn't a
I ship
political
them.
issue. That's like...
It's there.
There's something wrong with you if you like, no, trans people don't exist. Obviously they do. I would like to think that it's a safer world to be LGBTQ, but that would be naive.
Of course.
People are getting murdered for being trans. You know,
yes.
and gay. It's scary. I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys.
Oh.
One of them is trans. I worry that, I mean, for however progressive a new generation seems, that, you know, I have to think about, will there be violence done? Which, I mean, every parent worries about violence. That's part of the gig of being a parent.
Yes.
And I've got I've got a new layer. My child is in a wonderfully privileged situation where they have...
I hope they just kept this conversation up for like 20 minutes in studio while everyone else standing in like the spotlights in the background just sort of watches awkwardly.
a lot of support.
Okay, that helps.
But as they get older, their circle gets wider, and my sphere of influence gets less effective as they get older, you know? Hi, I'm Cindy. I am a stay-at-home mom, and I am a liberal parent. One of my children came out as trans 2 years ago. Mine and my husband's response was, that's great. Would you like to go by these pronouns? And would you like to pick out a name? Let's make sure that we talk to a gender specialist so we know what options there are, and we'll just take this one step at a time. We'll move forward with the best information possible.
Can they disagree or step forward?
I would be so disappointed if I was a parent and then one of my kids turned out to have a gender. God, what a waste that would be. Can you imagine? Imagine having a kid and they have pronouns. Oh God, a nightmare.
I can provide a unique perspective on this because I'm actually bisexual. So I think not being an ally as
does he look like the Spider-Man? Wait, am I thinking of the Spider-Man actor? Who am I thinking of? Isn't there an actor that looks like this? Or is it one of the Spider-Man people? Andrew Garfield? Is that the second one? The one that was in the bad movies? Ah, dude, he totally does, though. Yeah, he looks like a younger Andrew Garfield. They have the same "she let me hit it because I'm goofy" energy. Andrew Garfield is also gay? Really? I guess I could have called that one. He let me hit it because I'm goofy, I guess. Yeah. No, he isn't? Oh, well, fake news.
so I think
I don't care.
Not being an ally, as long as you're not harming people, you're not harassing people, you're not posting on social media that these people suck, then I don't think you're a bad person for that.
As a Christian, I don't think that being LGBTQ...
Any sentence that begins with the words, as a Christian, you can just walk away. It's okay. You can always just walk away. You don't have to be there for that.
aligns with God's view of the family. It doesn't mean that I will disrespect them in any way. I just think that it's a sin.
As far as your faith is concerned.
I'm gonna disrespect it anyway. I just think that your existence is sinful in a divine cosmic sense.
What would happen if your child came out to you that they were gay, bisexual, trans?
I think that if the sin is not practiced upon, it's not a problem. It can be dealt with, especially with transitioning.
Dealt with.
It usually comes from mental problems like depression, anxiety, and all those things.
So you think they can be kind of taught to not be gay?
No, I think
Pray the
it's...
gay away.
Do you support conversion therapy?
No, I don't think that...
She 100% supports conversion therapy. Absolutely she does. I don't know why she just said no. Probably because she doesn't like it when it's said explicitly. But yeah, she 100% does.
we can convert anyone into doing anything. I would not ostracize my child, but I would not support it. Just like I don't support any sin.
So
She literally said that transness is caused by mental disorders, so they could try to address the mental disorder. That's what they do at conversion therapy for trans people. They're like, oh yeah, you're not trans, you're just retarded. We're gonna hit you with this stick. I think that's what they do in conversion therapy.
I think that if you want to be transgender, you could be transgender. We live in again, I said, a free nation. But if you're asking for my opinion, I believe that men and women are completely different. We have different chromosomes, different bone structure. If you are a transgender woman, I still view you as a man. You could, express yourself as a woman. That's fine. But I don't believe that society should automatically, say that, okay, you're a woman. Let's say, for instance, there's a 18-year-old biological.
Why is it always the fruity guys who say that? I don't know. You know what I mean.
Man, but says that they are a woman now, they still have male genitalia. They could walk into a woman's locker room and show off their male genitalia. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's okay.
That's not happening.
It is happening though.
Is it really happening?
Even if it is happening, it's a fucking locker room. I just like we listen, okay, guys. I've got an idea. We have to systemically suppress the rights of millions of people. Because in a locker room, there's a possibility that when all the people are like hurriedly changing awkwardly in their corners with the towel wrapped around 98% of their body so they minimize visual contact with other people, there's a possibility that the genitals that a person might accidentally see are the other type of genitals. What do you talk like? Oh, okay, all right. Well, guess we have to do the Holocaust. Sorry, it was a good run, but somebody found out the 2% towel exposure genital theorem, and now we have to fucking build the camps again. What are you talking about? Does this make any sense?
Literally
rare.
transphobia.
It could happen, though.
It's rare, though, but
and not even a trans. It could just be a creepy guy, like pretending to be.
Yes, creepy guys are. I'm in much more danger in a women's restroom from a cisgender straight creepy guy than I am a trans person.
That gives them the excuse. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
So do you support gender-neutral bathrooms, like women and men can go into the same bathroom? Do you think that could increase the chances of rape or assault?
They are.
We've had gender-neutral bathrooms everywhere for decades. That's not a crazy those already exist, and there's no evidence that it increases the rate of sexual assault.
Already exist. It's interesting that men are only concerned about this rape in the bathroom when we're having a conversation about transphobia.
Oh shit.
But gender-neutral bathrooms just stem from this idea, though.
No, this idea that rape is going to suddenly go on the rise because of gender-neutral bathrooms stems from transphobia.
Oh shit.
I'm eating.
Damn, lady holding it down. Holy fuck. Mama bear in the house. Yeah, I understand that if you think about this for like 3 seconds, it's really fucking obvious. But the idea of like gender-neutral bathrooms or trans women in women's bathrooms or changing rooms or whatever else increasing the likelihood of sexual assault makes no sense if you think about it for like 2 seconds. Sexual assault is already illegal. If you're going to do something that could land you in prison, I don't think the barrier to that will be the 2 seconds that it would take for a cis guy to walk into a woman's restroom to then do the sexual assault. Like it's so dumb. That's not the barrier. The barrier there is the sexual assault part, not the whether or not you could. There's not a force field at the door. Okay, whatever.
And I'm 16 years old and I'm on the conservative teen side. I think that transitioning does more harm than good. And I think that we are born in the body that we're given and we should stay that way. God has created us in his image and I don't think we should change the way we are.
Obviously, like, she's a piece of shit, but she's also a victim of grooming. Remember, any kid who talks like this has, like, parents that, hardcore fucking steam iron their brain into being like this. No human is naturally like this. They have to get you when you're young.
Owning a gun is a basic human right.
Oh, no. God damn it, it's liberal parents, not leftist parents. All right.
I absolutely hate hearing about school shootings on the news.
Really?
Just shootings in general. It's horrible. This isn't like, Spider-Man's not going to save people.
What do you know that I don't? What something's going on here.
People have the right to protect themselves.
A lot of mass shooters target gun-free zones because they know there's not going to be a person who's going to fight against them or shoot them back. There's a lot of mass shootings at schools and...
Wait, schools have resource officers. Also, what the fuck? Conservatives, I never get this. Most areas are gun-free zones. Like all businesses. Most businesses won't just let you bring a gun in if they're like, if they check for that at all. Or otherwise, like, do you think people are like concealed carrying when they, like, every time they go to their local Walgreens or something? Yeah, the store in Buffalo had a security guard. This is just always really dumb logic. The basic logic here is like, well, all we have to do is arm every citizen all the time, and suddenly shootings won't or something. Like, it's just really, really fucking dumb. There have been, like, mass shootings that have taken place on military bases. What was that one Muslim dude? Was it back in, like, 2014 or something? That guy who was on the military base, and he killed a bunch of people, and the military police didn't even stop him, or they couldn't stop him, because it was, like, a soldier with a gun? Yeah, the Fort Hood shooting. How many people died there? 13 people killed, 30 others injured on a military base. Trust me, guys, like, whether or not it's a gun-free zone is not the critical... Oh, this was... Oh, I'm sorry, there were 2 Fort Hood shootings. One in 2009 and one in 2014. My bad, wouldn't want to spread disinfo. 13 people dead, 33 injured, and 4 people dead, 14 injured. Oh, sorry, my bad, yeah. So, apparently... Yeah, 2014, that's what I thought, yeah. 4 people, including the gunmen, were killed, which 14 were injured, yeah. If only there were more guns at the military base, they might have been able to prevent it. Tragic. If you wanted a soft target with a super high body count, wouldn't you hit them all? Yeah, it's so fucking weird. Like, they really do want just, like armed police officers and military and security just everywhere all the time. And this is the only country that has to deal with this. And it doesn't work. It's so stupid, you know?
That's because schools have gun-free zones. I view owning a gun as a right to defend myself. You look at countries that have banned guns in the past, the USSR, Nazi Germany, you look at China under Mao Zedong, they strip their citizens of arms.
All lower rates of firearm homicide than the US. Mao Zedong. Don't mention Nazi Germany. The Nazis promoted gun ownership amongst the Germans, just took them away from the Jews.
So they could oppress them. And I think the reason why our founding fathers enshrined the Second Amendment is because they wanted us to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government and to protect ourselves against danger around us too.
I think that from a woman's perspective, if as a woman you get into a dangerous situation, for example, with a man, having a gun and knowing how to use a gun is the only way.
Okay, this also speaks of grooming to me. Whenever I hear people talk like this, it's because they had, like, crazy fucking paranoid moms who have grown up around conservative male violence their entire lives. And to them, guns are like this. Listen, all men are like animals and they all want to hurt you. So carry a gun, like that kind of thing, you know? You ever hear somebody talk about like women's self-defense in that light? Have you ever heard someone talk about it like that? Like this, like, all men are animals and, like, you have to protect yourself, like that crazy shit? Yeah. I don't know, I feel bad for the chick.
That will protect me. Having my tiny little pepper spray won't help me.
I'm sorry, isn't she kind of right about self-defense against an abuser? Nope. The vast majority of assault and rape done against women is done by people you know, not by, like, random dudes charging you on the street and, like, raping you in an alley or something. That's just not... Like, I guess when you're chilling with your longtime friend and you're tipsy and then they start to come on to you and you're too drunk to say no and they rape you, like, I guess if you can, like, dive for the gun, I don't know how you're gonna solve that situation with the Second Amendment, but I mean, I don't know, you know, fucking Jesus.
Forever. I think definitely if you take away guns, the bad guys will always get their guns one way or another.
I live in Los Angeles, and LA has strict gun control laws. This is my perspective of it. I think LA has become a more dangerous city, and I feel very unsafe walking down the street, just not armed. Crime is on the rise in America, and I think one of the ways to stop crime is by owning a gun.
I definitely think that there should be this control in place to who buys guns. You couldn't just be able to go to a store and buy guns.
Quick reminder, once again, that the violent crime, like, spike that people are referring to when they talk about that is, like, on a graph that looks like this. It went up a little bit because of COVID. It's like, here we go. This is murders per 100,000 people. Here's reported violent crime rate. As you can see, from the 2019 to 2020, Look at this graph. Yeah, like all the data we have, it's like a little, I mean, like COVID's been pretty rough times, but I mean, compared to what it was back in the 90s, just people fearmonger about this shit like crazy.
And there should be regulations into who buys guns and who shoots a gun.
I actually debated whether or not I was going to sit down because I do believe people have the right to bear arms. I do. My issue is what kind of arms they're bearing. I believe people should get to go hunt, but do you need a semi-automatic rifle to do that?
I mean, you can use bolt-action rifles if you want to, but you could go 150 years back on reloading technology if you want to. The term semi-automatic is treated so weirdly by liberals. That's like everything is semi-automatic. Like that's what everything is now. Because
I'll tell you, personally, I'm afraid of guns personally myself, but I just think there need to be stricter regulations with it.
But the majority of people who die by gunshot are women in a domestic violence situation. So mass shootings definitely don't want automatic rifles. Against that.
Is that? No, the majority of people who die via gunshots or suicides, and then after that I think it's mostly like gang related. Well, yeah, I can look into that later.
Nobody needs them, but the most dangerous gun is the one in your home.
I do want to ask you a question. Do you think that women should have the right to bear arms to protect themselves against?
Yeah, I'm not against the right to own guns. The prompt was, do you think owning a gun is a human right?
But do you think?
And I don't agree with that.
In my perspective, I grew up in a gun-riddled neighborhood. I myself am a gun owner now because of the fact that I had to create some type of means of self-defense.
So why did you disagree?
What will libs do if a mass shooting was done by bolt action? I don't know what the fuck America is going to do if a mass shooting happens via bolt action. What does that even mean? What does that even say? Lever, some fucking guy rolls out of the van with like a 78-inch long lever action rifle or something and kills like 33 people or whatever. Jesus Christ. 20 guns, 6 bullets each. They all show up like fucking Blackbeard, you know? They just have a vest with like 6 flintlock pistols tucked in or something, you know? Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Haven't sniper shooting sprees happened before? Well, yeah, I mean, a gun's deadly either way, but modern snipers are semi-automatic. I guess, are there any edge cases where they're bolt... Do anti-materiel rifles fire bolt action because it's just such big bullet that... Yeah, okay, I think for, like, the very upper end, like... But that's if you're trying to, like, assassinate helicopters or something. I think for the most part, like, most rifles these days are semi-automatic, you know? Those aren't just in New Vegas, they're real. You know, okay, my personal theory is that 50 cal anti-materiel rifles are bolt action because it's cooler. Because after you fire a bullet that big, it feels way more impactful to have to pull the bolt back than to be able to just fire another one. And that's the only reason. I'm calling it right now. That's the only reason that's true, okay? It's so they can do the big and have the gigantic, like, you know, the bullet shell, like, fly out, you know? That's what I'm talking about.
I disagree because I would prefer not to be. I think it's not a human right as much as almost a necessity for a lot of people. And not everyone. There's a lot of neighborhoods that are very safe, but even in a safe neighborhood, you can be robbed, you can be killed. I've been stuck up several times with a gun to my face, you know, and all I could think of is, man, if I die, it's going to be because I didn't have a weapon to help protect me.
Do you think that we should take away all guns from the entire world?
Yes, if there was like a magnet, like Magneto from X-Men, and he just suck up all the guns, I think that would be such a better place.
My political opinions have hurt my relationships with friends and family.
During 2020, when, you know, America got really, like, politically intense, and my teacher, she was very politically active, and she wanted us to, you know, speak our voices, and they found I was conservative, and they said, okay, you're completely going against what we believe, like, the whole school is very liberal, and I guess they just kind of pushed me away.
Did you feel like you would get bullied?
No, I'll just get looks. Some people come up and say, you're a racist or you're xenophobic. You know, they would tell me, oh, do you support Trump? But I just brushed it off. I told them, hey, I respect that you think like this. Please respect me.
I think that is...
No.
Whether or not we have the same ideas, I think that is still an admirable quality.
Yeah.
Despite getting looks or feeling like maybe you don't belong, that you're still you have your convictions,
Yeah.
so I can respect that you're convicted.
Yeah.
I think being liberal, we think of the right as being stuck in the sand. It's interesting to hear that liberals were not having his right opinion. I think that everyone should have their opinion.
Well, I think we're talking about issues that aren't a matter of opinion, but a matter of your morality, the value of human lives. I've had to personally.
But if you're a moral anti-realist as I am, then you would believe that is also opinion. Yeah, whether or not you've had your political views like get in the way of friends and family stuff, I think that's pretty much like 100% just a matter of the environment that you're in. I don't think there's any set of political positions that's going to get you inherently more shit from the people around you. It just depends on the environment, you know? Like there are environments where the easiest way to fit in is to be like a clanner, you know, like a Nazi or whatever, because that's the family and the community that you grew up in. It's not a measure of how radical your positions are inherently, because there's so much variance in the environments that you grew up in.
Personally block a few people on Facebook, family members,
Oh, wow.
mostly men that are married to the women in my family. Like, hey, this conversation is really getting personal and hurtful, and if you carry on this way, I'm going to have to block you.
Were they harassing you?
I feel very harassed. Yeah, I'm belittled.
Were you ostracized, or was there someone that you...
I think on my end, it was myself. I understand people have different beliefs, and I respect that. And I think it's good for everyone to share their beliefs. That's the way we progress. But I think when people become ignorant or offensive consistently without any type of evidence or any type of backup behind that, that's the point where I say, you know what, I probably shouldn't be friends with you, because you may smile in my face, but behind my back, you have a different sentiment.
I haven't lost any relationships because me and my friends don't really dive into politics. We kind of just play video games and talk about comics together. I think if you lose a relationship...
This kid knows something. You can't keep doing this. Is this time travel? With the comics and the Spider-Man thing? Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Relationship over politics, that's kind of sad.
Unfortunately, it's a part of growing up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you won't lose any friends, but usually as you get older, you start to see those divides a little clearer.
I mean, you guys are older than us. Was it like this going back 20 years ago?
Politics has changed so much, and I think you touched on it, that now it's being associated, policy is being associated with ethics. I haven't lost any friendships or relationships because I won't allow that to happen. I believe that the majority of us, probably about 80%, are in the middle with varying degrees, and there are those people who are very, very conservative,
I really hate shit like this because it perpetuates the myth that there's any such thing as like non-opinion based, non-moralistic political engagement, you know? I know libs are paying more attention right now because brunch is canceled, but like, yeah, so much of it is like, and we've seen this happen multiple times in this video too, where it's like, okay, well, I don't even think that's politics. I think that's just like, you know, a basic thing, you know? People seem to believe that politics is like the specific bureaucratic designation of policies pertaining to like taxes and shit. All politics is power. That's it. Politics is just the framework by which people attain power to change the world around them. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it ever has been. That's not like a new, crazy, wacky development. That is just what it is. That's why it's called playing the office politics as well. We use that colloquially. When people play office politics, they're taking advantage of the social situation in a given environment in order to advance their own status. Can anything be apolitical? If you want to be hyper specific and think of some like concepts of the universe we have opinions on, like maybe there's some shit that's like apolitical. Functionally, almost everything that people have disagreements over is political. Anything that people have differing opinions on is necessarily political, because the difference in those opinions is something that people will try to resolve with power. So functionally, if you want to say like everything is political, you're probably right to do so, you know. Well, is the half-life of cobalt political? No, the half-life of cobalt is not political. You know, just
very ultra-liberal, who are the outliers.
But I think it's subtle. Where you have somebody that you meet with on a regular basis, you talk with them, you have a good time. If topics get brought up, and it's a oh, okay, you're one of those. They don't tell you that to your face, but it's kind of subtle.
And also, I think with the prevalence of social media, people's opinions are a lot more out there.
I never understood why anyone posted political opinions on social media. I think it's just annoying.
Well, I have 3 kids. They know more about politics than I did when I was voting age.
Her kids are 100% Vaushites. I'm calling it right now. All 3 of her kids. I wonder if I'll get an email after this being like, that was my mom, you saw me there.
It's annoying, yeah.
I think it's very encouraging because they're going to be more informed when they are of voting age.
I mean, yeah, it makes life more divisive. I mean, there's more arguments and stuff, and more relationships ending because politics is such a big part of life.
Hi, my name is Scott. I am a liberal parent. I have
Scoops.
3 children. I have 4. My oldest daughter is extremely left-wing. My 2 middle daughters are roughly right in the middle there, and then Chase is conservative.
My name is Chase. I'm 19 years old, and I'm on the conservative teen side. My dad's Scott. We talk about politics, mostly gun rights and the government in the economy. We disagree, but we like hearing each other's side.
The feminist movement is overrated.
Uh-oh. Hot take. Oh, shit. I'm about to respect the fuck out of her. Hot
The reason
take
I
coming
sat
in.
down is because feminism as we know it in social media and the marches is generally run by white women.
Yeah!
And we don't have a lot of intersectionality. Margaret Sanger?
Margaret Sanger,
Yeah,
yes.
and
Susan B. Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony, you know, total racist. The women that
Oh, yeah.
headed up the suffragette movement, they were not inclusive. Of
course, yes.
And they wanted...
You could tell that was going to happen just based on the face that she made when she came in. Look, this face right here. That's what I like to see, you know. But hold on. We need this energy for more of these topics. Do you think the civil rights movement was a good thing? And the mom is like, hold on. They didn't fix redlining, did they? And she jumps on in there. Yeah. Now hold on.
Susan B. Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony, you know, total racist. The women that headed up the suffragette movement, they were not inclusive. Of
course, yes.
And they wanted rights for white women.
That's true.
And that thread has followed us to be very exclusionary to black women, disabled women, women of color, indigenous women.
I don't think that feminism in America is based off racism. The reason why there's more white feminists is because there's a higher white population in America. So generally, there's going to be more white feminists.
She didn't say that the feminism was bad because the majority of feminists were white. What? That's not what she said.
Because of that.
I think that definitely in the beginning of feminism,
Wait, what? Did she just go,
Because of that.
I think that
She didn't even want to respond to that. Okay.
definitely in the beginning of feminism, feminists wanted votes for women, that women would be allowed to work, would be allowed to go to universities and such. I definitely agree with that, but I think that feminism has gone too far into saying my body, my choice, and saying that women are not all equal, saying that women are being suppressed by white men and such things.
No, we got a long way to go. There's just not enough done.
In America or just in the world in general?
Well, America, for sure. The world in general is a heck of a lot worse than America.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that women should be able to do everything that men can, but we also have to protect ourselves. So if you want to be a stay-at-home mom and do one of the hardest jobs on the planet, you absolutely should be able to do that. But you should also discuss with your partner and put in things into place so that you're protected if you choose to do that. Some women aren't doing that, like life insurance and things like that. I think part of feminism is being able to take care of yourself.
Capitalism is failing our society.
No! It's liberals versus conservatives. No one here's a left. Wait. Did I see that mom's foot move? Yeah!
This system that just values production, consumerism until you die doesn't work for anybody but a very, very, very small percentage of billionaires, and it's all baloney. The system is rigged to keep workers working, and the rich just keep getting richer.
Yeah, I think there could be some good in capitalism, which is like the innovation part of it. But in general, capitalism definitely sucks from the poor. There's a lot of industries that definitely shouldn't have any capitalism involved at all. The medical field, it's unjust that certain people get better care than other people just because they're more financially well off. Who are they to determine the value of life? The healthcare system creates such profit, and that profit is created off the misery of others, of the illness of others, including the prison system, where you have jails that are privately owned, because at that point what you have is a hotel, and you want to fill up the hotel. Why would there be a business that profits off of crime? That doesn't make any sense. If you put profit ahead of people, people are going to suffer, obviously.
So you said like only the billionaires succeed in capitalism, and I gotta disagree with that because I'm the CEO of my own company. A couple months ago I started a jewelry company, and I'm not a billionaire, but it's been relatively successful enough to I can make rent and and go through college a bit. So I think there's people like me who own a small business who capitalism really benefits.
If capitalism isn't the solution, then what is the solution?
I'm sorry. I'm not contributing significantly to this content. I apologize. Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
Socialism?
Socialism.
So the problem with democratic socialism, I mean, you talk about how capitalism hurts the middle class, but in reality, if democratic socialism was tried, the middle class are going to be paying way more taxes, not just the rich. You see, the rich don't pay taxes
Good.
because they don't work. They make money off assets. The middle class, they work. And because
Wait, I'm sorry. Did he just give up the game there?
it's tried, the middle class are going to be paying way more taxes, not just the rich. You see, the rich don't pay taxes because they don't work. They make money off assets. The middle
Well, okay. First of all, capital gains tax is a thing, but I agree we should close that preferential tax division. Additionally, yeah, you're right. They don't make their money by working. That's not how their wealth is accrued. So that's kind of a blow against the meritocratic. Okay.
class, they work. And because they're working, they're going to pay more taxes under a proposal like Bernie Sanders or, I don't know, AOC or Ilhan Omar.
I personally am okay with paying higher taxes. I would love people who make billions of dollars pay their fair share of taxes. But increased taxes for a better situation for people overall, that is exactly what I stand for.
I'm not sure that socialism is the answer. Yugoslavia before World War II did okay.
I no longer ship them. It's, by the way, whenever anyone else brings up this whole, like, middle class will pay more taxes thing, this is such an easy thing to debunk. Most Americans are struggling right now. Hey, middle class, you're paying lower taxes than, like, basically everyone in Europe, but you're enjoying a lower level of, like, purchasing power with regards to your basic, like, subsistence living, you know? Yeah, there really isn't that much of a middle class anymore. The middle class used to be, like, comfortable. Do you remember that? Have you guys seen media describing, like, the economic situation back in the 1950s and 60s? The middle class was, like, comfortable. Like, they worked for their living, you know, but there was, like, some perceived cushion beneath them. You know, like home ownership, something like that. Something that would, you know, secure them a little longer. Nowadays, there are people who are in, like, the 80th percentile of income in the US that are literally like paycheck to paycheck. 80, 85th, 90th percentile where they're barely able to save because their income is tied to them living in larger cities where the cost of living is skyrocketing massively. Yeah, it's just like the idea that the situation right now is tolerable for the middle class is just not, yeah.
But they didn't do all that great, and they were taken over quite quickly. What I'm thinking is capitalism, although is not the best solution, is one of the best solutions for a democratic society.
Think about socialism, you think about wealth distribution. And then money becomes a very big role too, because the ones that have less money become envious of those that have more money. And then money is like, it becomes a god because you don't want anyone else to have that money but yourself. And
Socialism is bad because socialism would make money God? As opposed to...
And if you, for example, look at the Scandinavian countries, they have a capitalistic market, but they have a socialist wealth distribution. And that's why it works over there. And I personally come from Europe, so I have seen that.
So you think that works?
So, okay, yeah, so you're in favor of wealth distribution?
I personally don't think that works. I think it takes a lot of money from the rich and from the middle class.
But you just said it worked. Wait,
Works over there. And I personally come
Works
from
over
Europe,
there.
so I have seen that.
So you think that works?
I personally don't think that works. I think
that it works over there, but I don't think that works? Okay.
it takes a lot of money from the rich and from the middle class.
My name is Nathan. I'm 18 years old. I would like to ask the other side if they believe America is the greatest country in the world.
Conservatives are such cucks, dude. It is fucking insane. You cannot have a single conversation with a conservative without them like trying to make sure you love daddy the way they love daddy. It is, this shit happened with Charlie Kirk too. Like, their number one priority is making sure that both of you are subservient to the same, like, greater power. It's religious thinking. It's absolutely insane that conservatives talk like this. He did this earlier too, when they were talking about whether or not, like, he thought America needed more feminism or the world needed more feminism. And the other guy was like, well, I think America does, but the whole rest of the world's worse than America is. And he's like, yeah, I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you agree America's best. What the fuck? They're all political bottoms. It's insane.
If they disagree with that, I want to know what country they believe is better than America. I do believe it's a blessing and it's a privilege to live in a country that gives you the liberty and freedom and to express who you want to be.
The American dream
Like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? Like, there are plenty of other like liberal democracies that have those rights.
is dead.
God damn, Mom, you are just kicking it here.
I gotta say, I disagree with the phrase American dream, an American dream, for who? You know, the Native Americans we slaughtered, the enslaved people? I mean, this romantic idea that there's this dream is just basically marketing for capitalism. You know, it's very well funded.
Oh, shit, dude. Ah, fuck. I didn't think we'd be getting a protagonist to this goddamn middle ground here. Holy shit, she's dabbing on the opposition. She's zooping.
Propaganda, and has it inspired good acts and good people to do good things? Of course, because ultimately, in a large sense, humanity is good. But this idea of the American dream, I think, is I think the fantasy of it is being torn apart a little bit, and I think that's actually exciting because it opens up room for something better, something more inclusive to grow.
I think the phrase is kind of corny, but the idea that someone's like building themselves up in capitalism, I feel like that I kind of have done that a bit with my business. So I don't think it's dead.
I do think the American dream is dying, though.
What? Wait, what? Okay, he's like 16. He's excited about like the lemonade stand. Okay, yeah, all right.
You know, the American dream now is not the same as it was 30 years ago. Have a family, buy a home, have a great job. But now it's very difficult to buy a home. Income has not increased compared to the price of a house. You know, I do think it's dying, though, but I don't think it's completely dead because there's a lot of immigrants.
Wait, income has not increased compared to the price of a house? That's true, but that's kind of understating it, don't you think? It's like income is like this, and the price of the house is like this. Yeah, I agree that the average income is not increasing relative to the housing price, but I feel like the other direction of that equation is the one that paints us a clearer picture of what's happening. Yeah, so.
They're still trying to come to America. America does have the highest immigrant population. 14% of our population are immigrants. We have a lot of people on our southern border, and I think they all want to come to America.
Yeah, I think the American dream.
His business is selling jewelry on Etsy or something like that. Is that true? I think that's nice. I will always value any kind of business like development that rewards sort of creative. No. I think Etsy businesses are valid. I think that's nice. I hope that they're shiny, because I like shiny jewelry.
Dream still exists, and I can speak firsthand because my family came from a third world country. But so does the American nightmare. The people suffering, not just here, but also around the world due to policies, due to exploitation, due to colonization, due to a lot of issues that are directly at hand to America. So there's a lot of blood on the United States' hand. And a lot of people don't want to leave their home country, but the situations that have been created there are forcing people to leave. Like my mother would have loved to stay in Mexico, but unfortunately due to poverty, which had a lot to do with NAFTA and what happened in 1994, directly caused by the United States, issues that created this migration. So is it a better opportunity here? Yes, my people come here and we send our money back to our ancestors. Would we just like to stay where we're from? Yeah, that would be a much better option.
As an immigrant myself,
This is what I mean about getting to invent entirely new political positions. Because earlier this guy was like, yeah, I'm not pro-choice or pro-life. And now he's like, yeah, the blood of the neo-colonists will be on our hands before we are liberated. Yes, through neoliberalism, the excess wealth of the imperial periphery has been exploited and extracted for the imperial core. You know, it's like, oh, okay, let's see. I guess we all have our positions, don't we?
Definitely think that the American dream still exists. We long for the opportunities that people have here in America, for the job opportunities that people have, the innovations that are available in this free market economy, this capitalist country.
So the
I really do feel bad for her because I don't think she's saying anything. Everything that she's saying is just like NPC talking points given from her parents. You can literally like see it when she talks. Like none of this is like an enthusiastic delivery. I bet you her parents like pushed her to be here. She's probably prominent on social media because most of the time when people are here, they have some kind of social media presence. And like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel bad for people like this. I can't like get worked up about disliking them because like she's probably fucking miserable and it's probably because of the other people in her life, you know? Yeah.
American dream is in the eye of the beholder. If you're an immigrant or if you live here, it's different. It's going to be different.
I don't like the idea of the American dream, but I am a person who's still going to always believe in hope. If you work hard and you take advantage of opportunities, you can make a difference in your life. I mean, you're an example of it. I'm so amazed by you. I think it's awesome what you're doing at such a young age. I am very, very impressed with you three. My hope for you is that you stay open-minded and that you're always willing to be learners and not just listeners.
Yeah.
So.
All right, great.
This was a good one. I like this one. I thought this was good. I liked it. I'm glad we got socialism, mommy. Oh, okay. Just making sure there was nothing. Yeah. We got socialist, mommy. Where are Cindy's socials? Are they down here? We have Nathan, Eden, and Ben's socials, not for Cindy. You should go on this. I was going to go on a Jubilee a couple of months ago that got canceled because it was going to be against QAnoners and they wouldn't get their goddamn vaccinations, so they weren't allowed in the studio. So the whole thing got canceled. Yeah, I gotta try again on that. It would have been fun to debate QAnoners, though. I would have been very mean to them. They would have had to cut like 2/3 of the shit that I said. Ooh boy, that would have